Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Philadelphia, this is CBS 3 Eyewitness News on the CW Philly.
Police say a teenager was killed in a possible road rage crash in Chester County. Tonight, the search continues for the driver involved. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
I'm Jessica Dean. The young woman who was killed had just graduated high school and had planned on attending college in the fall. Our Alexandria Hoff is live in West Goshen tonight, where we've just learned startling new developments in this case from police. Alex.
Yeah, Yuki, Jessica, what was a possible road rage situation has now become a murder investigation. Just moments ago, we were speaking with the Chester County District Attorney, who told us when 18-year-old Bianca Roberson's car went off of the road yesterday, it was not because she had lost control, but because she had been shot in the head by another driver. And tonight, that man is on the run.
He pulled away at an extremely high rate of speed, fled onto 202, got off at Paoli Pike, and took off down Paoli Pike like a bat out of hell.
What that driver had fled from was this, a teenager's car that had run off the road straight into brush. According to witnesses, it was the result of an interaction the teen had on Route 100 with a driver of a red pickup truck around 5:30 p.m. Wednesday. Both cars are seen next to each other in this PennDOT photo captured before the crash.
As a result of that interaction, that young woman is now dead.
That young woman's name is Bianca Roberson. She died upon impact. Her many friends describe her as lovable. The 18-year-old had just graduated from Bayard Rustin High School in Westchester just 2 weeks ago with plans to attend college.
This is a time of joy and celebration in a young person's life and for her family, and it's just replaced by just utter sadness and tragedy.
And confusion.
We know there was an interaction between that man in the red pickup truck and this young woman in her car.
Police are investigating if this deadly crash could have been the byproduct of a road rage situation.
But whoever this man was in the red pickup truck, he should come forward now. Things are only going to get worse for him the longer we have to look.
Yeah, and they have gotten worse because this is not just being investigated as a possible road rage situation, but is now considered certainly so. Now, once again, police do need your help. Anyone who may have witnessed this crime or know the owner of this vehicle, we're going to give you that information again. A faded red Chevy pickup truck with an extended cab driving around 5:30 p.m. yesterday, going south on Route 100 near the intersection with 202. Now, police say this man is considered extremely dangerous and is armed. Anyone with any information on him should contact police. Reporting live in Chester County, Alexandria Hoff, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Alex, thanks so much. Tonight, Seth Williams is the former district attorney of Philadelphia, and he's behind bars. At his federal corruption trial today, he entered a guilty plea and was immediately sent to jail by the judge. The surprise plea caps a stunning fall from grace for the city's former top prosecutor. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Joe Holden.
Seth Williams' career crumbled to the ground in an instant. His guilty plea triggered shockwaves across political and legal circles. Prosecutors confirmed at 1 o'clock Thursday morning, Philadelphia's disgraced district attorney raised the white flag.
This morning at 1 a.m. that Mr. Burke reached me and said that they wanted to accept the deal that we had discussed, which was this plea to one count that you heard with an admission of all of the other criminal conduct in the indictment.
While pleading guilty to the single bribery charge that could keep him in jail for 5 years, Williams also admitted guilt to every allegation contained in the government's superseding indictment.
After a thoughtful consultation over the last few days with his family and his friends, Seth Williams has accepted responsibility.
Williams' voice shook while answering Judge Paul Diamond's questions. The guilty plea was overshadowed by the judge's decision to immediately lock him up. This came shortly after Williams resigned from his position as DA.
When he came to the realization that he was going to have to resign from the office that he loved and he worked so hard to attain, the realization that he's facing jail time and time away from his family, I mean, I think that changed his demeanor, clearly. I mean, you saw how emotional he was, how upset he was. This is a dramatic turning point in his life.
Jurors were dismissed with the judge's thanks. One member from Bucks County told me she was bummed they didn't get to see the case through. Assistant U.S. Attorney Robert Zosmer, who was lead for the prosecution, promised continued vigilance over area politicians.
It's unfortunate that periodically we have to gather like this and address corruption in the city and in the state of Pennsylvania.
And that right there is Philadelphia's Federal Detention Center. That is Seth Williams' home until at least October 24th, when he will again appear before Judge Paul Diamond to be sentenced on this single count. He is facing a maximum of 5 years. Outside federal court, Joe Holden, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Family and friends are remembering a disabled veteran shot and killed while trying to stop a robbery in Olney. Surveillance video shows the moment before a gunman opened fire on Howard White outside the Green Parrot Bar. It happened at 5th and Spencer just before 1 o'clock this morning. Authorities say the former Marine was trying to stop the gunman who was seen canvassing the bar. White's cousin says he just wanted to keep the peace.
This is very hard for me and my family, because after serving your country and then come home to get shot down like a dog, it's very hurtful, very painful.
The suspected gunman is under arrest.
President Trump's revised travel ban went into effect at 8 o'clock tonight. The Supreme Court reinstated his executive order on immigration earlier this week. As our Natasha Brown tells us, people from 6 mostly Muslim countries will not be granted visas unless they can show close family or business ties to the United States.
Most of President Trump's travel ban goes into effect, a signature campaign promise that resonated with voters like Dana Katie.
If nothing else, it'll make a psychological difference to know that we're actually going to do something to prevent terrorism. And it's about time.
Citizens from 6 Muslim-majority countries will not be allowed to enter the U.S. for at least 90 days while the U.S. reviews its immigration policies. The Trump administration calls them terror-prone.
They weren't even involved in the 9/11 or any other terrorist attacks that happened on the United States soil, and Saudi Arabia or Egypt or those countries who were are not even on that list.
Artie Safi moved to the U.S. from Iran 6 years ago, leaving behind loved ones he's now worried about.
Their concern is if this is just the beginning of something bigger, just more like relations being cut off.
Travelers from the banned countries who have already approved visas won't be affected, and the ban includes some exceptions for new applicants. People with a close family member in the U.S., such as a parent, spouse, child, or sibling, will still be allowed to travel to the U.S., but that does not include grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, or other extended family. Journalists, students, employees, and lecturers with valid invitations or work contracts will also have permission. The Supreme Court will decide if the ban is constitutional this fall. Natasha Brown, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
President Trump launched a Twitter attack on the host of a cable show today, and some are calling it sexist. It's the latest in the war of words between the president and the host. President Trump called Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough low IQ, crazy Mika, and psycho Joe. Then he added the two visited him at his Mar-a-Lago resort and said Brzezinski was bleeding badly from a facelift. The tweet storm came from Brzezinski after Brzezinski questioned the president's manhood and called him a liar.
I think he's been very clear that when he gets attacked, he's going to hit back. I don't think that it's a surprise to anybody that he fights fire with fire.
Brzezinski responded to President Trump's tweets by posting a Cheerios promo that reads, "Made for little hands."
For months, we've been reporting on a mysterious story, graves unearthed from a construction site in Old City.
Now the final chapter is being written as work begins to identify the remains.
Eyewitness News reporter David Spunt is live in Old City now with the latest on this. David.
Hi, Jessica and Yuki. Hundreds of remains found behind me in March. Crews went back to construction, but just a few days ago, another report of some bones. L&I came out here. They cleared the scene. They said they didn't find any evidence, so construction is going forward. But those bones found just a few months ago, they are finally undergoing analysis. One by one, 300-year-old wooden coffins from Philadelphia were unloaded off a truck.
It's so rare that we get an opportunity to really see a cross-section of society at a particular point in time.
Forensic archaeologist Kimberly Moran is talking about the years 1707 to 1859. Some of Philadelphia's earliest citizens were recently discovered at this Old City construction site. The remains were in storage boxes under I-95 since the discovery.
Why were they left behind, and who were they?
Hundreds of people, men, women, and little children, were supposed to be moved by 1859 to a church in southwest Philadelphia, but it never happened.
We immediately noticed that this project was going to be massive.
George Leader is an archaeologist with the College of New Jersey, and he's helping Moran and the rest of the team.
So this arm is coming under the rib cage?
The team includes historians and students from Rutgers, Camden, and the College of New Jersey.
I haven't been in a place that's this historic ever, so it's humbling almost.
Now the next phase is matching bones with names, and archaeologists believe they have a good start.
One of the things that we found in the archives was old lists of the people who were supposed to be buried there. When we can try to cross-reference these off of John Smith passed away in X date from yellow fever.
In just a few months, crews want to let these people rest in peace, finally, where they deserve to rest in peace, at Mount Moriah Cemetery in southwest Philadelphia, where they should have been buried in 1859. David Spunt, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
David, thank you. A water main break in King of Prussia sent a geyser of water into the air that could be seen for miles. This happened after a rotted connection in a service line burst just after 8 o'clock this morning. Aqua America was replacing about 4,400 feet of deteriorated pipes between First Avenue and Old Valley Forge Road, but this spot ruptured before that work reached that location. Water service in the area was not disrupted because the line was connected to an abandoned building.
Still ahead on Eyewitness News, Pennsylvania awards the first medical marijuana dispensary permits. When you'll be able to buy medical marijuana and where you can buy it.
Are you with a religion of any kind?
Don't fall victim to a possible scam on the streets. How to know if the men dressed as monks really are part of the religion so you don't get scammed.
And we had a dry day today, but a chance of storms is in our 4th of July holiday forecast. I'll let you know when to expect that best chance of storms and your full eyewitness forecast coming up.
Also ahead, fighting hunger one meal at a time. The city of Philadelphia's plan to make sure no child goes hungry this summer.